Hi, this is not meant to be an intro to Webstorm. If are not very comfortable with Webstorm either yet, I recommend you watching first my intro to Webstorm video. Right now, we're going to be taking a look more at documentation and how Webstorm just makes it a little bit easier for you. So I'm just going to be assuming that you have JSDOC installed on your computer. This could honestly be any of the documentation programs that you use. I'm just using JSDOC because it's fast and this is a very simple demonstration. So JSDOC will expect you to have this. It is a comment line and giving you the parameters and what this is all actually doing. So let's go ahead and create a new one, and so you can go through the creation process. So var, let's create a new function, var add strings equals function, and it's going to take a string 1 and a string 2. This is there, and this is going to return string 1 plus string 2. There. Alright, so now let's have Webstorm automatically generate the documentation for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to do \* enter. And as you can see, it created documentation showing what the params are, string 1 and string 2, and the return values. Now, if we want this to actually show up with the right kind of string that we want, the kind of object, you're going to specify it in here. So you want a string called string 1 and you want a string called string 2. So now if we go back into this function, you're going to notice that the function now, Webstorm expects this to be a string and expects this to be a string. So not JavaScript, but Webstorm will expect this return value to be a string. So we can use that in order to improve our docs automatically. We do this by doing Control-Shift-A. And that is a very good shortcut if you don't know what actual shortcut you're looking for. This just opens up a blank page, enter action or option name, and what we want to do in this case is fix doc comment, press enter, and you can see that now my return value has been updated to expect string as well. Now we have a full documentation. We can also add new comments here. We can say this is an addition function which takes strings, and the same goes here. This is an addition function which takes strings here, and up here this is actually it takes numbers. And it's not an addition, it's an addition. Alright, so now we have a documentation for a file properly documented. So now if we go back to our terminal, and again let's remember to open the terminal, all you have to do is Alt F12, or you just click on the little terminal down here. We're going to run JSDOC testfile.js because that's the name of my current file. You make sure you are inside the project that you're working on, and make sure that JSDOC has been installed with npm install globally. Alright, so JSDOC testfile.js, and we press enter. The documentation has been created. You still can't see it because this hasn't been refreshed, but you can just go ahead and right click it, that works, or you can just either open and close, that works as well. Now you can see out, and if now I just click on index.html, remember we can just go ahead and do edit configuration here, or we can actually just click on, if you hover on this right side, this will show up, and this doesn't run a debug, but it does just launch the web page. And now you can see the JSDOC page has been loaded, and it doesn't have a lot of data because this hasn't been this is not a full-fledged project yet, but it does have the two functions that I added in. The first function, add numbers, you can see that here is the function that I'm currently using. This is an addition function which takes numbers, the parameter types, the parameter names, what it does. Again, any description that I put in after here would go in here. And then it also has a second one. This is my comment. This is an addition function which takes strings. It shows the function up top. It will give you the name and the type. And it gives you the return type down here and what line that is on. Again, most of this is being done by JSDOC, but the actual simplification of it on Webstorm is you don't actually have to create all those things. All you have to do is \* enter, and this gets created for you. And again, all you have to do from inside here is Control-Shift-A from inside the function you want to update, and you just type fix doc comment, and it will fix it for you. A couple notes also that comes from this. Now, if I try to call addString, notice that it's telling me that it's expecting a string 1 and a string 2. Again, JavaScript doesn't force type or force you to provide the same number of arguments, but let's say I just add now an argument string. Notice that there is no JavaScript error, but if I hover over it, invalid number of arguments expected 2. Or I can also just do Control F1 and it'll show you the full error. Assigned expressions should be of correct type. The validation works in JavaScript, HTML, or JSP file. So this knows that it's expecting a string and it's expecting 2 parameters of strings. So if I go in now and I add a second parameter, string 2, the error is gone. But if I go back in here and instead of a string I add a number, you can see that the error is back because it's expecting the second value to be a string. Again, JavaScript will still compile and run this code, but Webstorm will be warning you that you are not doing what you had originally planned for this item, and it's up to you whether you want to ignore that or not, but it will let you know what's actually going on. And again, if I just have no arguments at all, it will give me the same warning. It will be telling me what type and the number of arguments I want. The last thing that I would like to add is if I put number 1 inside brackets, actually let's do number 2 because that's where you would actually use most of your optional parameters. Now it's expecting number 2 to be a optional argument. So if I go here and I call numbers with just 4, 5, and 2, it's no longer giving me an error because I am telling this function that number 2 is actually optional and do not type check for it if it is not there. But if I do provide a second argument, you can see that it works fine. And if I go ahead and provide a third argument, it's going to tell me that I have too many arguments and that was not specified in the docs. Okay, so I'm hoping this was useful and this will help you if you're commenting of your documents. Commenting is extremely important, and it helps when it's done automatically for you and pushed automatically to your API. I wish some APIs would do this more often and would have better commenting. So if they switch to Webstorm, we might have some better docs out there. All right, thank you for listening and hope to see you guys later. Bye.